artistically pleasing and captivating, but very short and rough around the edges. Toren is an adventure game following the journey of the Moonchild to the top of a tower while being tormented by a dragon. The first thing that leaps out from this game is the very colourful and imaginative environment, which helps to immerse you in this odd world. It's nice to see a game which sparingly uses graphic scenes to increase the impact of story elements to full effect. The visuals are what kept me moving along, as the shift between the real world and the dream worlds kept me intrigued and wanting to see the next scene. The story itself is unusual because it's fairly simple, but the way in which it is worded is convoluted and difficult to follow in places. This is possibly intentional to try and maintain the mysterious nature of the game, which is also portrayed by having an unusual horned character narrating. There are also problems which lead to the misleading nature of the storytelling, such as some of the text disappears before you have a chance to read it. The gameplay is very simplistic and not particularly interactive for the most part, but there are conventional platforming elements as you would expect. It does unfortunately suffer from not having a clear path in places. You're not quite sure if you're supposed to jump into the abyss or whether there's some puzzle that you missed along the way. Also, when I died in this game, it happened in such a way that there were times I didn't know if I had failed or whether it was just part of the story. This is partly to do with the way in which the levels are laid out. You're always climbing the tower, but you regularly start at the bottom again, which means death somewhat loses its significance. The store page does actually recommend that you use a controller, but I did try out the keyboard, and it was awkward but definitely playable. The soundtrack for this game is excellent and follows the mood throughout. There are places where it's so seamless that it fades into the background and becomes a part of the environment. The closest comparison I can think of for Toren is Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, because they are both very short, story-driven platformers with a lot of heart. Personally, I actually prefer Toren. I think this is partly because it didn't have the same hype behind it and it had more of a chance to impress. Judging purely in terms of game time, it really isn't that good value for money, standing in at around 2.5 hours with little to no replayability for £6.99. But I would say that it offers quality time from start to finish. If it went on much longer than this, it would have outstayed its welcome. In the end, I actually completed it in one sitting. It doesn't bring anything new to gaming, but it does use well-rehearsed gaming techniques to really bring the story to life. I've tried to skirt around giving away the story as much as possible because this, combined with the dramatic shifts in surroundings, are absolutely the core of this title. Basically what I'm saying is, it's worth picking up in a sale just to experience it. If nothing else, it's nice to see some colours other than brown and grey in gaming. Thank you to those that voted in the Vote for Review. Unfortunately, we still have a tie, so I've decided to introduce the Wheel of Indecisiveness, and the review coming soon is Robin's Quest: A Legend is Born.